Hi, I'm homosexual Bryan Safi.
And I'm feminasty Erin Gibson.
And this is Attitudes, LGBT plus issues,
Gender issues,
pop culture.
Ooh, it's beginning to look a lot like 2024.
What?
Can you handle it? I know what year it is. Don't worry about me.
Did the year just start for you?
I know. I do Benjamin Button's years.
Yes.
Where I do the year, but it's just the year. So go
this is your
December.
February. Mm-hmm. Oh, really? No, this is your January because we're actually in December now.
It's January 30th, 2024.
Okay.
Tomorrow's January 29th. The day after is January 28th. You know?
Wow, this must be very difficult to keep a calendar for you.
Super easy. And I also think it's fun to like every day I wake up and I go, what time zone is it? So right now.
Oh, that can't induce panic. Not in someone like you.
Right now I'm in London time, even though I'm in California.
That is fun. Mm-hmm. You want to know something? I've been watching that Leonardo documentary, which, by the way,
DiCaprio?
Yeah. The Ken Burns Leonardo DiCaprio documentary. It's so good. I'm glad we're finally
Your
getting
Basketball
a peek into
Diaries,
what his life might be. Exactly. Yeah. I'm right at the Boy Scout. What was that movie he did with Robert De Niro? Something like that.
The Last Boy Scout? No, that's a different movie.
It was something about scouting.
Okay. It's not What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Not that.
Okay.
No, I'm watching the Ken Burns Leonardo da Vinci documentary, which, by the way,
Guess you're smart.
No, I mean, I love Ken Burns, but first of all, well, because I'm about to go to Milan and part of my visits, I'm going to see some of his stuff. But also,
did you know that Ale knows everything about Milan?
Does he really?
He was born there.
He was born in Milan?
Yes.
I thought he was born in the Colosseum.
Well, that's where he was. Well, he was birthed during a tiger fight. Yes.
I see.
But you should ask him for restaurant recommendations.
Oh my God, I will. I'm going to do it right after this.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Leonardo da Vinci. First of all, if you're not ill and stuck in bed, I really don't know if you should see this thing. Well, if you really want to age forward, you'll watch the Leonardo da Vinci documentary on PBS.
It really... What does it do?
It's
the
4 hours, but it feels like 8. And it is just people in Italian and French and in English talking about this person like he was a true god, which, by the way, he was a genius, full stop. Like, I get it. But it is the most idolizing. It almost makes you, it feels like you're eating Skittles and nerds at the same time. Oh, beyond.
The only Leonardo da Vinci thing I want to watch is Hudson Hawk. Okay.
Does that have Leonardo da Vinci in it?
I think it has a Leonardo da Vinci subplot.
Oh, like his flying contraption thing?
I think so.
Wow.
I believe so.
Well, I'm about to go see The Last Supper in Milan. Send me your Milan Rex. And by that, I just mean Ale. So I'm excited for that. But anyway, yeah.
You got your Duolingo? You doing your Duolingo?
Well, you know what I realized out of all my years doing Duolingo for French, because I do know some Spanish, out of all my years, this is what I've learned when you travel. Hello, thank you, goodbye. I don't speak Italian. Can I order the blank? That's it. I mean, really, like there's no point after that.
Well, I will say Google Translate has saved me many a times. Even though Ollie's relatives who do not know English very well refuse to speak to me in anything other than English. Talk about Leonardo da Vinci documentary. 7 hours for 3 words. I said, please just use Google Translate. It'd be so much easier. No, they won't do it. But I will say that they speak less English than you think in Milan. And number 2, Google Translate's great because you can joke around. Like, I started telling people I'm a stupid American. Can I have some sparkling water? Killed. Murdered.
Amazing. But yeah, like when I'm at the Last Supper, I can be like, I was there.
Yeah, you could be like,
it's like a joke like
waiter, garçon.
Well, that's instead. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Why do you think they're so pissed? There's barely any food on this table.
But do it all in Google Translate, and then depending on which groups are there with their country flag, you know how they do groups
yes, of
at
course.
those museums, and they put those dumb flags up.
Yeah.
So that because people are dumb and can't remember who they're with.
Right. Of course.
You could put just whatever. It's like Germany. You're like, okay, I'm going to put this joke in Google Translate.
Because by the way, their sense of humor is easily the best.
They love jokes.
I'm going to take my microphone. I'm going to stand in front of the Last Supper and I'm just going to go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think you should do Google Translate and then just, see what flies.
Honestly, the Last Supper is truly the original Real Housewives dinner. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, all of their because it's basically Jesus has just said, one of you will betray me. And everyone's reactions are like, girl, what? You know what I mean? And everyone's like freaking out, pointing at each other. It's so good.
And
so that's
remind me the gender of all those people who are doing that, acting like fools.
Well, I'll remind you. I mean, come on. I'll remind you, they're all cis men. Okay. Mm-hmm. But as far as I'm concerned, there's a few drama queens in there. There's a few drama queens in there.
I would say, I would go so far as to say that the Real Housewives might actually conduct themselves a little better and maybe have some more they
fight with their words more. Mm-hmm. Because I got to say this, and I don't mean to get all theologia, but Jesus at that dinner said, one of you will betray me, but Judas had already betrayed him.
So who the fuck are you talking about?
Did he say one of us? Maybe he said one of you has betrayed me.
Has betrayed me.
See, I get my quotes wrong. Anyway, no, one of you will. One of you will. So what is happening?
You know what? Guess what? I've never liked the Bible. I've never understood it. Sue me. It's confusing. It's not for me. Okay. Yeah. It includes passages about what the rules are for me, but it's not really for me. It's not really for you either, Bryan.
No, it isn't. Are you kidding me? But I do want to know this. Tell me about your Thanksgiving.
Oh, what? I ate.
But you cooked.
I cooked. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done cooking. I'm done cooking for other people. I'm done. It's over. Like my matriarchal moment of this, my fucking 1950s housewife moment. I hope everyone enjoyed it because it's fucking never happening again. It's too much work.
And you never get I'm not saying you, but people never react the way you want them to. You know what I mean?
Also, because they didn't do it, they don't understand how much fucking work it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much work. And I was still working my other job and I was making food and literally, I'm sorry, thank you is not enough. I want facials, massages. I want foot rubs. I want someone to draw me a fucking bath.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So guess what we're going to do for Christmas? You know what we're going to do for Christmas?
What?
Tamales, refried beans.
Delicious.
I'm ordering them all from this amazing chef in Santa Fe. And I'm not doing a goddamn thing.
Yeah, everyone can go straight to... Did you ever see that SNL sketch they did where it's like a song, everyone's bragging about what they got for Christmas, and then it goes to Kristen Wiig, who's playing the mother, and she's like, thanks for the robe. It's a robe. And then they all go through what they got in their stockings, and she's like, and mine is empty. I'm not doing it.
It's like this. It's the fucking, it doesn't matter. By the way, this is not an indictment on Ale because he obviously,
no, yeah,
he's 50-50 guy, but we had,
yeah, it's annoying as hell. I will say this. Well, first of all, I saw 2 movies over the weekend.
Did you see Wicked?
Exciting. I didn't. I saw Honora. And I saw Conclave. By the way, Conclave camp classic.
What is Conclave?
It's it's Ralph Fiennes and Stanley Tucci and Isabella Rossellini, who's so fabulous in it. And it's about the secret meeting of the Pope has died and they're all in the Vatican about to select a new Pope. And it's about the voting process, but it's like a thriller and there's like a lot of, secrecy in it and everything.
How many Prada Hills clacking on that marble?
So much clicky clacking, so much clickety clacks, so much Prada. And it's like fun and edge of your seat sort of. And it's like an hour 40. And honey, that end, there's a twist at the end that is truly like, it will go in the canon.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So Conclave, you're saying overall, above all else.
Honora was also weirdly, it's the same guy he does Truly
Florida
like
Project, yeah.
which I love. Florida Project is one of those movies, sort of like Brokeback Mountain to me, where it's like, it's one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. I will never watch it again. Too much, too sad. I can't do it.
That's how I feel about that. I've just heard about Honora from some lady friends, and I don't think I can watch it.
Well, I have to say, I'll say this. I did not love it, but I will also say I didn't know it was a comedy. That was the most shocking part. It's like, What's Up, Doc? It's like a screwball comedy. I didn't expect it, I have to say. But I liked it. I thought it was good, but it's not my favorite of his. And I'm sort of tired of seeing like, I don't know.
I got a hard and fast rule these days.
Yeah, stop with all the fucking...
If you're a man and you're doing a movie about sex work, I'm not in.
And I have to say, this one just felt different than his other movies that sort of touch on those subjects. Like this one was more...
Felt a little superficial.
I don't know about superficial. It just felt, yeah, I guess so, maybe. It just felt a little more like I have to watch them fucking again and again and again. And I'm fine with sex, but not so much the male gazy sex. You know what I mean? Like, I sort of feel like I'm fine watching The Substance because at least that's a female director and she's making a point at the end of it about how women are perceived. And this was sort of like, no, I'm just watching a really hot stripper dance on a guy for hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I didn't expect was for it to be comedy, and everyone's really good on it. But the last thing I do want to say, if I may, the amount of times. So I went to Thanksgiving dinner at a restaurant called Fresco by Scotto.
No. Not Freschi Biscotti?
No, Fresco by Scotto.
But can you spell it for me? Is it
Fresco, like fresh?
By?
Scott.
Okay, so by Scotto is not one word.
No.
Okay.
It's like Savage by Fenty or whatever.
So it's a collab.
Or
it's
Skims
a collab.
by Dolce & Gabbana. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went and ate at Skims. It's been a while since I've been around families because there was only me and one other person at the dinner. But on either side were families. I got to tell you.
By the way, let's just say this, rich families, because people who can afford to take their entire family out for Thanksgiving.
I know. That's
a lot of money.
Agreed. So the people next to me, it was
they're not doing Dutch like you and whoever you were with.
No,
you bring out a calculator at the beginning of dinner and you start going, oh, you want another glass of wine? Okay.
It was a teen son, 15 years old, who ordered a Shirley Temple, which I was impressed by because I thought like, yes, hold on to your youth. It's all we have. You know what I mean? Sergio, you know what I mean?
This window display, it looks like a floral shop.
No, the inside is shocking. I mean, it was like, it looked like Candyland. It was wild. It looked like American Girl place for adults.
Yeah, it was a Rainforest Cafe, but for fancy people.
Completely.
Okay.
And so this teenage kid next to me ordered a Shirley Temple. He was with his mother and his grandmother. His grandmother had purple hair and purple lipstick. Not red, like straight.
But like she had meant to dye it gray red. Or she was doing a fun thing?
No, she meant to dye it red. And it turned out purple. And her lipstick matched her hair, which I'm a fan of always. But they were fighting because the son got, I guess, like a text from his girlfriend saying like, oh, Claire said that she's doing this for Thanksgiving and here's a picture. And her mom goes, why don't you send a picture of what we're doing? And he goes, no, that's okay. And she goes, why? Send it. And he goes, no, I don't need to. And she was like, just send a picture of what we're doing. Why don't you want to send a picture of what we're doing? You can take a nice picture. What's the waiter? Take a nice picture of the three of us. We can stand in front of this beautiful sculpture. Just to send a picture to her. And he was like,
hold on. Yeah. Was this mom being serious or was she like,
serious, getting
you want
mad.
To be on your phone? Then do this.
Well, she had told him twice, put the phone away. And he would for like 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, you say it once and then you grab it out of their hands and you go, honey, get a job and then you can buy your own.
That's what I wanted to do. But at the time, I think she'd forgotten. She'd said, put it away. And because it was Thanksgiving themed about what Claire was doing, she was like, oh, really? Oh, that's nice. We'll say hi to her. Say hi to her family.
No. That's a fucking teen trick. Oh, but I'm on my phone and it's related to this. And it's like, and you know absolutely not. You cannot bullshit me.
He was probably playing the long game. Because at first he was like, I'm going to order Shirley Temple, make her think I'm really sweet and innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then I'm going to put on my tap shoes.
And then I'm going to put on my tap shoes. And then I'm going to skin-a-rinky dinky dink right to my cell phone. I'm going to sing the full skin-a-rinky dinky dink song with the hand gestures. So she thinks I'm a toddler.
I'm going to say two things, though.
She got so upset that he wasn't taking a picture. And so they finally did take a picture because she was like, show me you're sending it to Claire. It was shocking.
By the way,
I was on everybody's
if
side.
that's her long con of getting him to stop using the phone, that's brilliant.
I kind of liked her. The person on the other side of me, mother and daughter.
You do have to engage teenagers. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, sit here and do nothing. Like, you do need to talk to them. Were they at least trying to talk to this kid?
Yeah. I mean, yes, they were engaged. They were talking about a family trip they had taken and about how the son didn't want to wait in line to go see Stonehenge. And she really, or Stonehenge, whatever it is. And the mother really did. And they got in a fight, but they were laughing about the fight. The people on the other side of me, it was a mother and daughter. She was a senior at UPenn. And the mother.
Because of the sweatshirt?
No, because we're talking about it over and over again.
Oh, okay.
The mother was clearly so afraid of her. Because, at this age, when you're about to graduate from college, you are insufferable. Because you're at the height of thinking you know everything.
Yes.
And of really thinking your parents are as lame as they possibly can. So she was, the daughter was talking about FIFA and how corrupt they are. She was so loud over and over and over again talking about, and mother was like, oh, terrified of her daughter. Like, oh, that's so interesting. Oh, I wonder why. Well, why do you think they do it like this? And she was like, Mom, that's like the dumbest thing you could have said right now. And then mother was like, oh, it is? Oh, I didn't know. Oh, okay, da-da-da-da. Like, and she was like, because they did, Mom.
Because that's so someone who doesn't know the answer.
So fucking rude. And just was like, honestly, Mom. And then when they came down to order, she's like, oh, I can't decide if I want the turkey or if I want the prime rib. What do you think I should get? And the daughter was like, honestly, Mom, like, you need to learn how to make decisions. Like, this is so sad watching you. So fucking mean.
Okay, did this woman have a ring on? Is she divorced? Is this how her father talks to her?
Divorced and very, very anti-religion. The mother.
Because?
She kept saying, she goes, I guess I'd be interested in theology class, but I don't need anything shoved down my throat. The last thing I want at this stage in my life is religion shoved down my throat. Nobody stops talking her in the entire. No. And then, guess who showed up?
This will get me right back in the kitchen. I'll tell you that much.
Rosanna Scotto herself, who, by the way, is the daughter of the Fresco by Scotto family. She not only is that, she apparently is the anchor of Good Day New York. When I tell you, every mother in this place lost their minds.
Stop.
And she kept saying mascara. Go ahead.
Why? Why was she saying mascara in a fucking restaurant?
She was like, sorry, I'm late. I was busy doing my mascara. She was going around to every table. She had Janine Pirro energy. She looked at me, and my friend had already gone. It was in the bathroom, so it was just me by herself. And by the way, we had already eaten, so the place settings, it literally looked like I was there by myself. There she is.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, well, happy Thanksgiving. It's okay if we celebrate alone too, right? And I was like, but I'm not.
Ma'am.
She had BDE, baby. I loved her. And everyone around me was flipping out. And I didn't know who it was, so I asked the table next to me with the teen boy. She seemed safer. I go, who is it? She goes, Rosanna Scotto, Good Day New York. Oh my God, I've been watching her for 40 years. And then the lady at the table next
to me. And then that's when Roseanne turns around and she goes, you have not been watching me for 40 years.
How dare you?
I'm 13 years old.
And then the lady with the daughter said, Rosanna, you won't remember me, but 20 years ago, I told you I was pregnant. You're going to die. This is who I was pregnant with, and points at her daughter. And Rosanna Scotto goes, time goes like this.
That is a real politician, because I would have been like, you're right. I don't remember 20 years ago when you stopped me on 42nd and whatever Broadway and said I'm pregnant. I think people are struggling. I really do.
Of course
Even the people who are at.
I did not get bottle service.
What is this place? Is it like,
honey,
what is it?
It's, I guess, what like,
why were you
what is like a fancy tourist trap in LA? Like maybe like Spago?
The Ivy?
Okay, so it's like the Ivy. That's perfect.
But has it been around that long? Who is Scotto? Who is
It's
is
been
that her
around
last
forever.
name?
Excuse me, the Scottos they own Fresco.
They own Fresh.
Well, they own the restaurant Fresco by Scotto. So you have to understand.
Was it good? That's a no. That's a fucking no.
No, I'm going to be honest. The turkey was some of the best I've ever had in my life. I couldn't believe it. I actually was shocked.
Okay.
Now, we were robbed blind by this place. Without a question.
Well, you know, food prices have gone up quite a lot.
I mean, this was like highway robbery. I was like, we should have just like gone on a turkey hunt, I guess.
Shot your own turkey. What we should have gone is right to the deli section and said, give me some board head slices.
Honestly, give me all the E. coli you want. It still will end up cheaper than this meal.
Now, was it just 3 tables in this restaurant?
No, it was packed. And at first they did that thing where they were like, we have a wonderful table for you right in front of the bar, which is like right by the entrance. And I go, I'm so sorry. I can't spend this kind of money and sit here. And the hostess was like, she like laughed. She was like, I actually totally get it. Let's go back here. And I was like, thank you.
What was the table in front of the bar?
I mean, it was just like a crappy 2-top high, like it was just like, I'm not spending that kind of money and sitting right here.
But you know what? That says a lot about that restaurant. Trying to slam everybody.
I agree. And I was so nice about it and like made her laugh about it. But I was just like, yeah, I won't be able to get the bill and pay for it and know that I sat here. She was like, I get it.
Are you drinking wine right now? Is that how bad it is? 9 a.m.?
I'm drinking wine.
Well, Bryan, I'm glad you had a great Thanksgiving, or it sounds like you didn't. I really can't tell how you feel about this scenario after your story.
It's hard to say.
I don't actually know.
It's hard to say. Both.
Okay, good. So, by the way, I'll tell you how much I spent for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
To feed 12 people.
Okay, so you probably spent more than I did to feed one.
$600.
Yeah, you spent more than I did.
And I'll never do it again.
You should start charging people.
That's what I'm going to start doing.
Charge per head.
I'm going to be like, oh, you'd like to have dinner? It's $80, please.
Yes.
Plus my labor? Baby,
By the way, not to mention the prep, but did everyone, I'm assuming all 11 other people other than you got up and cleaned off their plates and put them in the dishwasher.
One person besides me did it.
Yeah, right.
And then I did the morning stuff.
Yeah, I mean, people should be charging. I'll be honest. People should be charging.
I'm telling you what, I read this thing on, there's a subreddit that I look at every week, 2X chromosomes, which is really good. And
you've told me about that.
One of the posts was, this week was a woman and her coworker, the only females in the office, have always done Secret Santa. Everyone's like, let's do Secret Santa. Let's go to Secret Santa. So they've, of course, done the invisible labor of planning a fucking party.
Yeah.
So this year they go, let's be silent and see what happens in this majority male company. And guess what? It's not happening. Yeah. There's no Secret Santa because the ladies aren't doing it. So I'm about ready, and I'm sure we're all going to be over the edge in 2025, which is the actual year next year, to just be like, not doing it anymore. Sorry. And when after you hear my shoe today, you're going to be even more like, absolutely, we're not doing shit anymore.
We're still falling for this bullshit.
Yeah. We're still falling for it. Not anymore. Well, not in 2025.
2025 is going to be, listen, I have a feeling that starting in 2025 through 2028, it's just going to be terrific. So I'm very excited for what's coming.
At the best, I think we could hope for is reality show infighting. Elon Musk slapping Donald Trump, vice versa.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Listen, we've got
At
lot
the worst,
of stuff
all the
happening.
other shit.
Exactly.
One of which I'll talk about today.
Good.
But until then, we've got so much, as Bryan was about to say.
If you go to patreon.com/attitudes, which by the way, I can't think of a better gift. If you go to patreon.com/attitudes this week, you are going to get Vault episode 67, which was considered a fan favorite episode. Now, Erin, this is when I was living on Rodney, and you came over to help me move my bed, and you noticed some stains on the wall.
All over the wall.
Oh, my God.
All over. Now, you had cream walls, which is if everyone knows apartment living, it's probably Swiss Coffee by Benjamin Moore.
I would say so, yeah.
And then there was Swiss coffee on the wall, splattered on the wall, but it wasn't coffee. And I'll tell you that much right now. I know exactly what it was. And so, gentlemen or allergy havers, it's not just gentlemen or allergy havers, take a wet, warm rag to your walls once a year. Okay? Just take a rag to your walls, if you would.
This was also an iconic episode because Erin got her IUD out and her doctor made a funny joke when he pulled it out.
That was all
did like some puppeteering, right?
Yes, he said, I'm out in a puppet voice.
Yeah.
That I did call the state of California medical board on him.
And we had Elizabeth Lame as our guest, who we adore, and we absolutely love her. So this was one of a fan favorite.
I've got a bonus coming out this week. This new thing we're doing, episode 12, Christian comedy. It's got it all.
Oh, I love
Celebrity impersonator, mobile home ad. How to be petty in 1940. We've got. How to be pretty, I'm sorry, not pretty.
Hey, listen, pretty, I love petty too. Honestly, I wish it were How to Be Petty.
We've got Grocery Season 4. All 10 audio episodes are out now for the $10 and over tier, but you can buy them if you're not on that tier. If you're at the $5, you can buy them for $20. And then YouTube, as always, you can get the first act of our vid eps every week free. Just search for Attitudes Pod.
I love it. And also, don't forget to review us on Spotify and Apple. We'll get to those later. But in the meantime, you want to get into some shoes?
Let's do it. So I know no one needs more reasons to panic, but maybe there's some people out there who love panic, who are horny for panic. And so this shoe is for you.
All right.
This comes from...
I think that legitimately some people do take comfort in panic. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, yeah. People
because it feels familiar.
Yeah. You famously said that the best naps you ever have is on your family's couch while people are fighting.
Oh, I do love it when other people are fighting and I'm not included. It's very relaxing.
Yeah. I would take a look at that. I would unpack it. I would take a look.
We're still in the process. Yeah.
We're in process. We're still processing.
Exactly.
This is from Miss Magazine. That's where I got this. And it is a very upsetting article about Christian nationalism's first item on their agenda is to repeal the 19th Amendment.
Great.
Which is women's right to vote. Okay. Have you heard of Pastor Joel Webbon?
No, but he sounds really ugly. So shitty.
Isn't it a bummer when there's like a hot Republican? You're like, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
The hotness is for our side.
Yeah.
Well, Webbon is spinning quite a weapon of traps for women.
Okay.
Webbon does not like women. Okay. And in the New World Order, aka Mask for Wieners, which is what I'm calling MAGA now.
Yeah.
Masculinity for absolute fucking dorks.
Yeah.
He is coming for the 19th Amendment. So Pastor Webbon his title is President of the Right Response Ministries. Now, I think all theological leaders call themselves president.
Right.
I think that's what they want. They want to be the president and CEO of their religion.
Oh, totally. And I think also if it were, let's say 2000 years earlier, they would want to be gods.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're a president. So that means you must be running a business. So I guess you're not tax exempt.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
President Pastor really just sums up this country very well.
President Pastor completely.
Yeah. And he's really pissed. So he's a pissed President Pastor.
PPP.
He said that half of his vote was stolen from him by the 19th Amendment.
Well, that's just what he's calling women now, the 19th Amendment.
Stealing his vote. Stole his vote. Which what he means
by
to
voting?
Say,
they stole his vote by voting.
Mm-hmm. What that is code for is my vote has been diluted. The man vote has been diluted because women can now vote. Instead of women were denied the right to have a voice. And so now they have a voice and you don't like that voice.
Yeah.
That's
Pick
the
a new
code.
key.
Piss President Pastor also has a podcast, which makes him a Piss President Pastor podcaster.
Love this. 4P.
And on his podcast, he says that he allows his wife to vote so that his half of his vote can be stolen can be returned to him.
People are so bold.
Also, wife is property is the equation.
Yeah. So far, wife is property and wife is an amendment.
Also, math is not math in here. Your vote was stolen from you? Absolutely not. This is everyone gets one vote.
Yeah,
no one stole your vote. You still get to vote, bro.
Yeah.
You still be voting out there. Okay. Yeah. He then said that his human wife said this to him, which if she did, we need to SEAL Team 6 rescue situation. This is what he said on his podcast. Wicked people stole half your vote, husband, and I would like to give it back to you. What? Nobody talks like that.
Nobody.
Wicked people and calling your husband. Hello, husband. I have returned your vote by voting.
Yeah, truly. Like, what in the Stepford wife hell?
Exactly. Where are these people getting cash money? They're getting cash money from people is the problem.
Yeah, they are. They're flush with monies.
That's the problem is they got flush with monies because Trump don't give a shit about nobody. He only cares about that green. So one of these fools comes in being like, I want to take away women's right to vote. He's like, how much money you got for me?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. Okay.
Oh, yeah. The good thing is I think 38 states have to vote to change an amendment in the Constitution. So you would hope that there are 12 solidly blue states that would say no.
I hope so.
Same with terms. Same with like people are talking about, oh, what if Trump tries to do another term? It would take 38 states to change that. I mean, it would take 38 states to change that. And I don't think that can happen. That would be impossible. I mean, knock on wood on everything at this point.
Knock on all of it.
Yeah.
I'm no lady attorney, but this is what I mean by the math's not mathin'. It sounds like wife gave her vote to husband, not that husband allowed wife to vote. The way they twist words, I'm like, you can't even stay steady in your own point inside your own dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, your wife took back your stolen vote. No, your wife voted in the way you wanted her to.
Yeah.
So she's still voting. And then he's like, oh, I know that sounds hypocritical. And it's like, listen, it's beyond hypocritical. It's nonsensical.
Yeah.
His president, pastor, podcaster is a very influential Trump bootlicker, and he's not alone. There's this other guy, John McEntee of the dating app, The Right Stuff.
We've talked about this app. Yes.
And just again, for people who don't know, is not a place for the over 40 set to find other people who enjoyed either the Tom Wolfe book about the Mercury 7 astronauts or the 1983 movie based on the book starring Ed Harris. It is not a place for just people who love that kind of content. No. It's cis, white people, Christian nationalists looking for boners.
And apparently it's like 96% men signed up on that. And that the women that are signed up are bots and lies. Yeah. Basically. Yeah.
Have it.
Yeah.
He put a video somewhere on the internet that said, I guess they misunderstood. When we said we wanted male only voting, we meant MALE. So that guy's,
I'm so horrified.
I know people who don't, I know these people don't listen to the podcast, but we're going to be in a new world. Don't even fuck a Trump supporter for fun. Like,
no,
do not give
moon them
anything.
Yeah.
You give all your energy and all your goodness and all your juicy holes to people on the right side.
Correct.
Okay. I don't care how fucking hot they are.
No.
I don't care how fucking desperate you are. I don't care. Do not fuck these people.
No.
Okay. So
honestly, Erin, that sounded personal. Is that what you think I'm going out and doing?
Oh, okay. I mean, I can just talk about myself in high school and the kind of fucking lines in college and the lines I was willing to fucking. Oh,
Claire better not be a Republican. Teen Shirley Temple drinker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these men are out there in these streets saying that they're going to take away our vote. And it's not about taking it away, they say. It's about the Christian ideal that the vote is a family affair. That it's a family vote. No. Voting is a right for an individual.
God, I mean, can't even believe we're here.
I know. And when they say family affair, they mean male household of a cis family, of a cis gender, like cis white hetero family with 2.5 children, blah, 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 one golden retriever. That's who they want to vote. They don't mean like two queer men with adopted kids. That's not a family to them. You know, a woman who is widowed, who has 2 children, not a family to them. No. Those don't count, you know? They are talking about going back to a time when women couldn't have credit cards in the 70s or bank accounts or the kind of privileges that these lazy ass fucking white men have taken for granted. They are given this shit and they don't even earn it. They don't even earn these rights. And they want to take ours away when we fucking fought for them. These plays are right out of the anti-suffrage playbooks of the early 20th century. We're talking 1900s.
Right. They're early 1900s.
The pages are so delicate that they have to turn it with a tweezer.
Exactly.
But they're presenting it with like cool new, they're like trying to be hip about it, like a young life leader. But he's like, I know we're talking about the Bible, but I got a backwards Tulane hat on and I got ripped jeans. So I'm making it cool. Mm-hmm. This guy Webbon has also straight up said that women are more easily deceived than men. Bitch, please.
Yeah.
Also, if you think women are such idiots, why are you marrying them?
Right.
Why are you hitching your fucking wagon to these absolute morons? Right. If you think this little of women, why are you sharing your life with them?
Yeah.
He also told the Standard why not have women and children represented by a man who loves them and is willing to die for them and protects them and provides for them? I would love to be represented by one person in civil government who has that level of commitment to me. This motherfucker is force majeure. Because anybody who says that shit, I believe an avalanche comes and that man runs away.
All I want. Oh my God, are you kidding me? He takes his phone.
And runs away.
And runs away. For sure. All I want is for this guy, I haven't even seen a picture of him, but all I want is for him to get a pedicure. That's all I can think about is how disgusting it must be. He only wears shirts that do wicking. And Bryan, I know who I'm talking to here. I get it. And this is not shade on you. No. His have sports emblems on them. Okay. No, and also I'm not a fan of the polo. I'm only a fan of a wicking in the gym or when I'm recording a podcast. Otherwise, I'm not interested. You're not interested in wicking at the airport, wicking at the Barf-a-roni. Fresco by Scotto. Yeah. No, at Fresco by Scotto, excuse me, I happen to wear a really nice sweater. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, thank you. Good for you. Yeah. Oh, you dressed up for your solo dinner at Fresco by Scotto? Rosanna Scotto, I need you to understand I was with somebody there. Whenever she said a sentence, would she do this with her hands? Yes. Like, she was very like newscaster and also just like forward. You know what I mean? Yeah. There to host. I loved her. This guy, James Silberman, who's also one of these repeal the 19th guys, he works for Oklahoma State Senator Dusty Devers. Now that guy needs a pedicure. I'm here to tell you. Yeah, he absolutely does. That is just skin falling off everywhere. If your first name's Dusty, so are your ideas. Okay. Absolutely. And so is your skin. They're calling it Project 2035. I love that they were like, Project 2025 isn't a thing. And now they're like, it's so much of a thing. Oh, they're so doubled down on it. Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm not trying to give these goons any more O2, and you shouldn't either. But as I said earlier, put your energy into good change and not the real life equivalent of like writing a shitty comment, like actual change. Here's some people in Oklahoma who need your good vibes. These are people who are fighting against this shit. I'm just going to list two of these amazing women who are in these red states fighting for change. Rep. Ellen Hefner, who is a Democrat from OKC, disability champion. She's a widower with three children, not eligible to vote under pissed president, pastor, podcasters, hell wishes. And then State Senator Regina Goodwin. She's from Tulsa. She is a descendant of her grandfather survived the 1921 Tulsa race riot. She has put on incredible acts sponsored incredible acts in the state legislature. HB 3393, the anti-shackling law, which bans the shackling of pregnant incarcerated women during labor, which, as you know, in this country is a thing in many states. HB 2253, which clarifies when voting rights are restored for people convicted of felonies. And she's also big on supporting caregivers in her state. So anyway, as promised, I want you, this is my thing going forward. Know about the shitty thing and then support the person fighting against it. That's the equation for me. That's how my math.
And that's actually a very like positive way to go about change too, instead of like trying to necessarily shut this guy up.
They're not going to do it.
They're never going to shut up.
You have to take
they're insane. This is a crazy person.
Yeah.
Truly.
Take the oxygen away, put the oxygen mask on the people who need it.
Correct. Here's something I didn't know that opened my eyes a little bit today, and hopefully didn't add any crow's feet to them. You know, when they say you learn something, you get a new wrinkle in your brain. God forbid I read something and I get a new wrinkle on my face. Right? Rosanna Scotto? Mascara?
Can you imagine if that was a real metric? So that if you got Botox,
I would never read again.
If Botox, you would just be like, I've read no books.
That's true. Actually, the younger you look, the dumber you look. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Well, anyway, I did get a new crow's foot today, just one, because I did not know that Walmart over the last few years, when talking about DEI, went from some of the worst in terms of representation and policies they had in their store to one of the best. I mean, when you talk, I don't like giving that company very much praise.
Oh, but now they're rolling it back, correct?
Erin, wait.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I read the news. Like, I can't help it. Can you tell me the news? Well, that's your
fault. See, now you're going to look
face.
Old. Now honey, you read the news and I can tell.
I'm sorry. I'm going to STF you. Wait.
Thank you.
Shut the front. No, I'm going to
shut the front up.
Yeah.
Shut the front up. That's right. Angel eggs, baby. Angel eggs. So, but what was surprising to me, and I'm going to get to obviously the rollbacks that they've made since, I was actually surprised to hear that they had done a piss poor job in the more distant past, but had really become front and center of doing the right thing in terms of, not with everything in terms of employment. Okay, let's be real. They're not covering people's insurance. I'm sure they're still treating people like shit, but in terms of DEI. I'm sure they're still doing
the thing where they're like, oh, 40 hours as a full-time employee, you're working 39.
Of course. Yes, of course. But in terms of diversity, they had really come a long way and even had become very careful with more careful with who they were partnering with and making sure that even the companies they were partnering with or selling or doing that sort of like third party selling, which is what they do now, which is a big part of their business in the Amazon way. The Walmart Plus thing is, partnering with people who really came from diverse backgrounds and diverse companies and different store and company owners who did not necessarily look like the Waltons. You understand? So, but that has all been completely put on a pyre and blown the fuck up.
For what reason? You've already done all this work. It is so American to be like, we've done all this work in a really good direction. And then for political reasons, just toss it?
Because of threats and possible blackmail and all of these nasty, backward And by backward, I mean like 1930s and 40s Germany backward, truly.
Yeah.
Methods of scaring the absolute shit out of people so that they're afraid to do the right thing. The most shocking thing is, and the most upsetting thing and the harbinger of danger of this is, those threats and that blackmail can make the most powerful company, most powerful retailer other than Amazon maybe in the world, bow down to one man who is Robby Starbuck, who, by the way, I don't think I've ever mentioned this before. Did you know that Robby Starbuck had a pretty great music video career as a director? He was the guy you called when you didn't have all the money, but you had some of the money. He directed videos for Akon. He directed videos for Eve. I'm not even kidding, Erin. I never unlocked this. You want to see a picture of Robby Starbuck? Sergio, can I have hosting privileges? Because this was absolutely totally shocking to me.
Gagged. This is like people we know in the improv community being like red pill Redditors now. And you're like,
I went on IMDb, which, by the way, is the music video database.
Didn't know about this.
Me neither. That's Robby Starbuck. Looking like Skrillex.
I don't understand the reality we're in.
I don't either. I thought Robby Starbuck was another person in need of a pedicure until I saw that he's getting pedicures every day. He looks like Skrillex / Christian Siriano. He's a combo of both of those people.
Wow.
Isn't that shocking?
Wow.
Well, anyway, he got out of the music video business because he was so sick of being a Republican in Hollywood. So he said, which, by the way,
how are you a Republican in Hollywood with that fucking haircut?
Do you ever actually, this is what I don't understand. It's very rare that someone who works, quote, in Hollywood says they work in Hollywood. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I work in entertainment, you say. I work in LA. It's weird when people drop the name Hollywood.
This person, listen, we all get disillusioned with the entertainment business. It is a fucking shit show. You don't just become a crazy Republican, start shutting down DEI programs.
Well, he did. And I have to say this, as an American conservative activist and former music video director, which again, I do want to stress that when he worked with major people, they were clearly on the way down. No shade to them. But he directed some music videos for Akon and Eve, even people like Shiny Toy Guns and Metric, which are led by women.
Metric?
Yeah, do you remember Metric?
Yes.
Yeah, he directed music videos by Metric. He also famously directed the music video She Don't Put It Down Like You by Joe Budden, one of your favorites, Sarah.
Yeah.
Dance All Night by Dirty Heads. He even directed the music video for Toxic by A Static Lullaby. So again, not the...
Okay. I feel like we've got an artist, we've got a tortured artist. An artist who, honestly, tale as old as time. Hitler started it.
Yeah. Again, when people said, hey, we don't have the budget for McG or David Fincher to direct this music video. We do, though, have the money for Robby Starbuck to direct this video. Oh, and of course, Erin, your favorite song, Just Got Paid, Let's Get Laid, by a band called Millionaires, which I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure they ever reached that status, but hey.
This is a dangerous name to name a band. That is dangerous. You better make it.
So anyway, to circle back, Walmart, and actually I was wrong. Amazon is not the world's largest retailer. It is Walmart, is rolling back. And maybe by retailer, they're also including brick and mortar. And that's why it's Walmart, not Amazon. Rolling back its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies and all of their pro-LGBTQ plus initiatives they just announced last week. This comes, of course, right after the U.S. Supreme Court in 2023 started ending affirmative action in college admissions. This, of course, hot on the heels of an election that essentially denounced and won the argument for anti-wokeness, which I should say was a champion of anti-wokeness, and clearly at least half the country agrees with this. This hot on the heels of Robby Starbuck going after every Fortune 500 company he can find and asserting so much pressure on them that they give in and decide to ditch all diversity, progressive, inclusive policies, all policies, including and inclusive of LGBTQ plus programs that they've supported, they've donated to, all these things, whether it's a local pride or whether it's anything like this, just completely backing out. And again, you have to remember, there was a time when even companies like Deere Tractors had DEI programs and were supporting LGBTQ plus initiatives because it was good for the brand. But now, because of Robby Starbuck calling all farmers, calling all Jack Daniels drinkers, calling all Walmart, or threatening to call all Walmart shoppers, which, let's be honest, probably do come. I mean, there's not a Walmart in Manhattan. There's not a Walmart in Los Angeles. There is, I think, a thing about conservatism associated with the brand Walmart and liberalism associated with the brand Target. That just is how it goes, even though I think Walmart serves all customers.
Misunderstands their power, because I can't believe I'm even fucking saying
I know.
this.
I feel the same way when I'm like, wow, Walmart was really a step above in terms of DEI inclusion. Well, they're a horrible company,
but
period.
Also, you, I guess because of Amazon, maybe this is not true, but in most places, because Walmart has eradicated small business, they are the only place to shop.
Right.
I guess the exception now is that people can get Amazon, but not everywhere. Yes. And so I think there's
no, especially not worldwide. I mean,
no.
Yeah. So
I never want to defend Walmart again. I never want to do it.
I started by saying I was like impressed by them. I'm not. So some of the things that they have decided to roll back since Monday in their announcement, they are no longer going to participate in the human rights campaigns, the HRC's Corporate Equality Index, which rates companies based on their queer inclusive policies. Now, here's my thing.
How can you not participate?
Why do they get to choose, HRC? Can't you still rate them and rate them as 0? Even if they rated high before? Like, I don't know. I didn't know that companies had to opt in for that.
Yeah.
Because maybe they are, or maybe it's just like they're saying, we're not going to share our information anymore, which, by the way, is cowardly. So live and die by your sword, dude. If you are rolling back all these policies, you can't then say, oh, and also we're not going to participate in a study where you rate us based on how we're doing. Like, go to hell. They also said that they are from now on going to review grants that they've given to Pride events, because they just want to make sure that Pride events are suitable for children, which, by the way, they're not for children, A, and B, shut up, and C, they say they don't want to support Pride events if there's sexualized content in them. And by the way, there always will be sexualized content in them, because that was part of the revolution of getting queer rights. Okay? Was saying like,
the oppression is based on the sex.
Correct.
Yes.
Exactly. And most homophobia is based on the idea of two men having sex together. They also said that they're not going to renew their 5-year commitment for an equity racial center that they established in 2020 after the killing of George Floyd. How can you stand by that? How can you even worm your way out of getting out of a 5-year commitment?
I'll tell you who else is cowards.
One of the most brutal killings that really should have changed the way this country does business. And I think a lot of ways has and did. But it clearly, 2020 is ancient history for Walmart.
The Walton heirs also could come out and be like, we don't agree with this.
So Robby Starbuck had been
putting together
contact with Walmart. He had been on phone calls with them, had done consultations with them, and I guarantee these consultations were nothing if not threatening, blackmailing, all of these other things. However, I can't believe Walmart fell for it. They're a billion-dollar company.
Why are people like record these nuts?
Exactly. Robby Starbuck called this a massive win for sanity. And
I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. And, bragged about how effective that his campaigning has been in getting these companies to bow down to him, and also said, we are the trend now, not the anomaly. And I have to be honest, he's right.
But
when it comes to major corporate America, this has become the trend. Whether it's John Deere, whether it's Lowe's, whether it's Jack Daniels, whether it's Harley Davidson.
But it's the status quo. It's not a trend. It's the way things have always been. It was getting better, and now they've returned it back to the status quo.
It was only better for a few years.
Yeah. So it's not, we're the trend now. I fucking hope so. I hope you go away.
Yeah,
like wide leg jeans.
Correct. So Walmart's trash once again. We thought maybe they weren't for 5 seconds, or some people, I guess, thought that. But no, they've flushed that all down the toilet. And also without doing it as, by the way, as Mark Morial, who's the CEO and president of the National Urban League, he told CBS this morning that they've thrown all this away without any real serious evaluation of the success of these programs. That's what's also so shocking, is they didn't even bother to evaluate the progress they've made and how successful these things have been for Walmart and for their employees or anything like that. They just got scared, put their tail between their legs, and were like, what do you want? Yes, take it. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So, Robby Starbuck, I'm glad you're out of Hollywood. I'm just sad that you have carved out some other kind of niche for yourself in a desperate attempt to, I think, be famous. Yes. Truly.
That's all this is. It's always about fame.
Even though you're a completely failed Republican, you've run for House seats in Tennessee before. And then when they said, no, you don't have enough votes to be on the ballot, you campaigned as a write-in. You're a joke, a failure, and a loser. And to be a Republican loser is really about as bottom of the barrel as it gets. So, yeah, go fuck yourself.
We got some Spotify and Apple podcast reviews.
Give it
It's
to
Not
me.
Poetry says a bad acrostic.
Sure.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm going to look it up.
Attitudes this week. Bryan takes a class with Kathy and Donna. Erin also hears about Francesca, a teacher's pet. Great podcast. I'm going to say it once again, you guys. Bryan is with a Y.
Thank you.
And it's very obvious when you don't care to remember when it's on the reviews. And you don't see, if you're not watching the video episodes, you don't see the tears that roll down Safi's face.
Thank you.
When someone dares to swap out the vowels.
So an acrostic, Erin, is a poem or a puzzle that certain letters of each line spell out the word. So in other words, like, gee, I love you, or do I? Damn, he is good, would be G-O-D.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? It spell out God.
Yeah, but this one
like
doesn't
we've seen
work,
on
right?
Datelines, there's some art on the walls that's like,
yes.
Spell it's
oh.
Where the first letter of each line, if you take the first letter of each line, that also spells a word. I feel like generally it's about religion, but I don't know when we ever did an acrostic. But
no,
hey,
there was one on Columbo, I remember.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. So that's
and then It's Davey, highly recommended in the past. This podcast was once owned by an LL Bean heiress, Rich. I can't stop. LL Bean heiress is like
my favorite.
Tip of the tongue these days.
I love it. Please support us by writing a Spotify review or an Apple Podcast review. It helps the show. You can support us even more by going to patreon.com/attitudes. We have all kind of things that this new thing we're doing this week, along with, we always have We Were Shoe, along with Vault episodes, along with the full newest season of groceries that if you're $10 and up, you get for free. And if you want to pay for the whole thing separately, it's $20 for the whole season.
And I've already forgotten the segment we're doing at the end where we tell you about people you should support, but I'm going to just do it.
Whatever name we gave it, it couldn't have been good. So
it couldn't have, it really
was
didn't
definitely
stick.
Took no thought. So yeah.
Representative Ellen Hefner from Oklahoma City and State Senator Regina Goodwin from Tulsa. Pew, 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 pew. Bryan, as always, thank you for sharing your laugh.
Thank you for sharing your laugh.